This is, I think, the 5th episode of Ramsey Coach Support with Coach Steve Money. Let me type in my links in the chat and then we'll get going here. What's the first one? To schedule a free financial coaching consultation / assessment, you would go to ramseycoach.com / CoachSteveMoney. Alrighty, and you can email me about anything. Yes, anything. About financial coaching, about anything on my YouTube channel, Oak Island, computers, video gaming, anything that's on your mind. I'm more than happy to engage with you, and that is CoachSteveMoney@gmail.com. It's also right there. Now right there on that side. I always get confused about that. And donations do not qualify. With 170 subscribers, I don't qualify. Gotta have 1,000 subscribers on the YouTube to qualify for monetization. So if you'd like to donate, help make the channel better, you can do that at paypal.me/coach. Spell it correctly, it helps. Coach Steve Money. All right. And again, those links are at the top of the chat. And let's get going here. Let's get the music playlist and sing along with myself. Just a little bit of it. Let's see if I can find where the chorus starts. We'll pick it up right there. Stay gazelle intensive. His name is Dave Ramsey, and this is his plan. And I hope to meet him. I admire the man. I've messed up in my life, but these steps have made it right. That's why I coach and why I host my YouTube show. If you don't like results you're getting now, you should do the baby steps. And if you want to have financial peace, you should do Dave's baby steps. Step 4 is when you can take a breath. All right, that's enough of that. You can find that in my, and I sing it a lot better now than that, though. That was, when did I record that? September 14th. And it is now November 30th. So it's been a while. I've been singing it a lot on the Ramsey Show After Show, which is weekdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, right after the Ramsey Show video ends. And what else did I want to say? I think that's it. I think we can get into it. Okay, like I said, I think this is number 5. I'll do the research later and find out and change the title if it's not. Number 5. All right, sort by new. Again, this is reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey/new. Or you can just click new after you get on the Ramsey. All right, so this one I was in the Ramsey Show After Show. I was just given a little taste of what Ramsey Coach Support is all about. And I did answer this one, so I'll just give it a quick go on this one. Since it is, nobody's posted anything since then. Help, can't figure out what to do. Hi everyone, I'm in baby step 2 and close to moving on. Finally, I should be paid off by April 20. I think that means April of 2022. Then have a fully funded emergency fund by October, I think, unless he means this year, which that'd be great. Okay, question is what to do after that. 41 years old and have 4 children, make about $250 to $275K a year, didn't get out of school and training until 5 years ago. $390,000 in debt, all student loans. That is crazy. School and training. I wonder, he doesn't say what he is, maybe a chiropractor or something like that. That is crazy amount of debt. Crazy. He makes good money though, so he can pull that off. Just has to cut things. But basically, let's see. Oldest child should be starting college in fall 2023. I thought I'd still be paying my student loans by then, so I cheated a little and started at $529 for her, $30K just to cover the first year or so. So that is, of course, cheating. That is baby step 5, starting that $529. And he still has the student loan debt, so he's in baby step 2. So the question what to do after that is, of course, baby steps. They don't change. It doesn't matter. Nobody is special, not even me. You do it all in a row here. But anyway, so I'm planning ahead to baby step 4 when I calculate how much I'll need to put away for my kids' college and to contribute 15% gross to retirement. Don't have a lot of wiggle room. Was hoping I'd be able to contribute more towards retirement to catch up or start chipping away at the mortgage. I owe about $360,000 on my house, currently in a 30-year term at 4.1%. Okay, so yeah, he bought a house too while in student loan debt. So let's see. So if he has $390K in debt, maybe he's paid off some of that. Maybe that was the total forever, but that's $390 and $360, dog. That is $750,000 in debt from just a student loan and a house. Currently in a 30-year term at 4.1%. I talked about refinancing, which he talks about as well, right there. Or go to a 15, which would increase the monthly payment by $400 a month. It would. You're right. And if you don't have a lot of wiggle room right now, you perhaps have some lifestyle creep that has snuck in addition to this house. Probably like a $4,000 house, a $400,000 house, perhaps. And so that's a lot of debt, dog. So, and if you don't have much wiggle room, like I said, you started making all that much money, there's probably some lifestyle stuff happening that you could perhaps cut out, is what I would suggest. But yes, basically step 4, which 4, 5, and 6 happen at the same time, but 4 is first. So you would calculate how much you need to put away for kids. No, that's not baby step 4. That's baby step 5. Baby step 4 is contributing 15% gross to retirement. Okay, and that's what you need to do. You do need to do that. Definitely. You do that, and you save for kids' college, and you start chipping away at the mortgage. Anything extra you put towards the mortgage. All right, and any lifestyle, any vacations, any, you make a bunch of money. And I know if I had a $400,000 house, I would want to stay in it as well. So in order to do that, I would give up other stuff. I would give up, you don't say about any other debt. So hopefully like no car debt or anything like that. But if you have big car payments or something like that, if you're spoiling your kids rotten, buying them everything under the sun, stop doing that. Maybe stop eating out so much, etc., etc. Just think about everything you're doing. The house, if you like the house, it's worth it. You can refinance it, and that will make the payment bigger, but it will save you money on interest and have that bad boy paid off in 15 years, which, of course, is what Dave Ramsey recommends. So, again, I read the whole thing before, and he doesn't say, or yeah, okay, I've been looking forward. I'd love to relax and use extra money to loosen the budget, go on vacation. Yeah, you can. By being retired on retirement and kids' college saving, feel like you need to commit to 15-year term, right? Okay, yeah, I mean, that's basically the deal. With that, you could loosen the budget, you could go on vacation, but you had $390,000, almost $400,000 in student loan debt, and you bought a $400,000 house. So, yikes. So if you hadn't had those things and been set, that's a quarter, no, $750,000 of $1,000,000 in debt between house and student loan debt. You know, of course, you're making the money back. You're making great income. So, I mean, that'll come around. So some people would tell you that was worth it. Dave Ramsey would not tell you that it was worth it. Going into student loan debt, not worth it. You figure out a way to go through without student loans. But as far as the $400,000 house, you know, I'm sure it's fabulous, and I would want to stay in it as well. And in doing so, I would give up all that other stuff you're talking about: eating, loosening the budget, going on vacation. Yeah, this $250,000 $275,000 a year, I would try to live on as little as you can past your bigger house payment. Once you refinance that to a 15-year fixed, once you do that, and you're out of student loan debt, then you can put the student loan payments towards your 15% gross. Make sure you're doing 15% gross, and anything that's left over, then you can start paying for their college. Now, I would say they could start at a community college, and that would be something. That would be a sacrifice in order to keep your lovely house and still make progress on the baby steps. They could do the first 2 years at community college. Okay, say you don't want to do that. Say that's too much to ask. The next step up would be an in-state 4-year school. Do not send your kids out of state. If they want to go out of state, they need to pay for it. They need to get scholarships, etc., etc., which they could do that as well. They should be doing that already. Your oldest child, fall of 2023. Okay, so you still got some time left, probably before starting that. But I would recommend Debt Free Degree by Anthony O'Neill. Read that, definitely. But with that income, it's doable. You just, like you said, you're not going to have wiggle room. Not going to have wiggle room to do. There won't be any vacations. Maybe like once they are started, in college, and you see how much extra you have because you're not making student loan payments anymore. If you continue to live like you're living now, or less even, and get those student loans paid off earlier, perhaps even start living, start living lean now. Which I'm sure with that income, I'm sure you'll be fine. I'm sure you will be just fine like that. But that's the whole thing. You also don't think you'd enjoy loosening the budget and going on vacation knowing just handing future money to the bank, right? And that's just what you think about it. You think about it, well, do I want to go out to eat, or do we want for the whole family? If you go out to eat, that's whatever, $50 at a nice restaurant. That could be $100. Maybe you stay home and have sandwiches and eat that, and send that $100 to the mortgage and stuff. But definitely do your 15%. And if something comes up where you can't put more away for college, Yeah, they can help pay for it. They can work. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not going to kill them. I mean, you should be able to help out a lot. It just depends on how much you're being able to give up. Which you're able to give up a lot. It's just to whether you would do it. All right. Let's go to the next one. I think maybe I'll message him later and offer the same advice. I think other people have offered him. I looked earlier, and I think other people offered similar advice to that. But I'll see if he needs any help. Achieved baby step 6. Now, how does taxes work? First of all, it's how do taxes work? Let's see what the issue here is. Will I owe? I'm generally concerned now. Achieve baby step 6. Does that mean you completed baby step 6 and now you're on 7? So we don't have good information here, because if okay, we'll assume that he was perhaps claiming a house payment, and which it would have to be decent sized house payment in order to claim it, because otherwise you would use the standard deduction, since the standard deduction is so high now. So I don't really know what he's talking about. There's 6 comments. Maybe somebody asked and he gave more info. Your town will mail you a bill every year and you pay it. There you go. And this person on baby step 7, they have the little flare. What about tax return season? I don't understand your question. Right, because he's not asking a good question. You still pay taxes like everyone else. Pay the property tax annually unless exempt, disabled veteran, etc. You need to explain your question. Do you mean you're worried about not having a mortgage interest deduction? Which you don't need to be worried about that. A lot of people say, the knee-jerk excuse to not paying off the house is, well, I like the deduction. So, that's say that interest rate that you're saving is 25%. We'll make it easy. 25%. So you are giving. You are sending the bank $1, and in order to save a quarter of paying in taxes, sending the bank $1 and then you save a quarter in taxes. That's not good math there. So the mortgage interest deduction is not a good reason to not pay it off. So, and it depends on what rate that would be, but the 25% was just an example. I think Dave normally uses 10, so that would be a dime. You're saving a dime in taxes for every $1 you send, still keeping your mortgage, making your mortgage payment. So that's not saving it. If you have your house paid off, then you can pay. You ought to pay the dime interest. I mean the taxes. Sorry. But then you get to keep the 90 cents because you're not paying that anymore. So. But yeah, the person didn't explain there. That's the only thing I can think of. Otherwise, that's the only thing. It would be mortgage interest, because just like finishing baby step 5 and being able to now start putting more on the house, that doesn't affect it. You're still at the same deal for the amount that you pay on the house and being able to take that deduction for it. Alrighty, perhaps he'll do that. All right, nothing into the Did You Hear? Ramsey Sir discussion for today. The daily non-baby steps Dave and Company discussion thread. This is the place to discuss things Dave Ramsey related that don't revolve around the baby steps themselves. Keep it civil and be respectful to each other, because this is like where theoretically this is where people would post things they don't like about Dave, or and it says non-baby steps, but the things they don't like about Dave's plan or the way Dave runs Ramsey Solutions. And so people have their opinions and stuff, and this is not run by Ramsey Solutions. This is run by fans, so they do allow this. Alrighty, and they're nice people. They allowed me to put the link to both the Baby Step song and the John Deloney song into this subreddit, and I got quite a few views from it as well, so much appreciated again. All right, never thought I'd get here. Debt free from sarcasm is coming, so beware. But my final payment on 130,000, 110K of student loans, and 20K of credit cards just cleared, and I'm debt free. Coming for you, BS3. Oh, there's no sarcasm. Doesn't look like. Excellent. Yeah, people use this to post their goals and their milestones. So that's excellent. We had a viewer for a second, and they went away. Maybe they were on the Twitch. We are simul streaming on the Twitch. All right, cheers. Yes, amazing. Congratulations, all the work paying off. So cool. Yeah, so that's great. Financial fear, men and women. What would Dave do? WWDD. What would Dave do? Financial fear, men and women. Okay, I've heard Dave and other Ramsey personalities mention the number one financial fear for women is lack of security. Yes. Does anyone know what the number one financial fear for men is? That lack of security for women is why some women, not all, would like a bigger emergency fund than the man does. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see what's down here. And be warned, there could be some smart-ass answers. Let's see. The fear of being misvalued, being paid too little, feeling like you aren't worth what you should be. That's maybe some. For some men, it's the ability to provide, definitely. Divorce. Well, all right. And that's the only ones. I don't know. Probably the number one, probably to be able to provide for your family. If you have a family, or even take care of yourself. Yeah, that's a good question. Is it considered debt? Yes, probably. If you don't, if you didn't pay cash for it, probably is. Let's see. Hello, I'm anticipating a large check in December and January from a side hustle, $4,000. Excellent. With it, I plan to pay off my smallest debt, which is an old student loan, $1,100. And then my wife's credit card, $1,600. Yay! I will still have some money left over, $1,300. Deciding if I should pay my homeowner's monthly warranty or not. Or is this considered a debt? A warranty is not a debt. That's a service you're paying for. It's just basically like a utility. Dave would not recommend a homeowner's monthly warranty. Doesn't recommend any warranties at all, but it's not debt. It's $43 taken out each month up until the annual policy renews in September. The balance is $387. It will reload again in September 2022 for another $43 per month. Yeah, that's not debt. Now, if you don't pay it and then they get a judgment against you for that amount, then that's debt. But if you're paying it a month, it's just like your cable bill or movie subscription service, that kind of thing. Should I use the extra cash to pay off the $387 and not worry about it until September 2022? Or should I just keep paying the monthly and use the money for my next greatest debt snowball, which is another student loan, $4,500 balance? We have a winner. Yes. Just do the baby steps. But yeah, that's not a debt, so you don't pay that in advance. The only time I would pay it in advance is if for like some insurance. If you pay it in advance, you get a discount, and certainly you do that. But you cash flow that, but this money coming in is part of your cash flow, so you could do that if it's cheaper. If it's not cheaper by paying it early, you don't do it. Alrighty, use money for next day snowball. Issue whether you have some issue of whether you should have the policy aside, something monthly, pay in advance. Can you call in and cancel at any time and not owe further payments? Yeah. Yes, cancel any time. I'm unaware, but do not think there would be a charge to cancel again. I have no interest in canceling the policy right now. Right? It's not debt, but again, several people I saw at the bottom there, that one that I didn't even read, also suggested that he cancel the monthly home warranty. Because even when you have it, there's a lot of things that it doesn't cover normally. Alrighty, 22, just a baby, and just paid off all my debt. Any advice for someone to build wealth from here? Senior in college, and work to pay off loans and medical bills while in school. I'm kind of lost as to what to do from here in order to build wealth. I am new to Dave Ramsey and the Baby Step. Any advice? 23 comments. So, of course, what you're going to do is do the baby steps. So if you have no debt, then you set aside, if you have money left over from college, where you had been saving it before, that becomes part of your full emergency fund. So any money you have, including the $1,000 from step one, that now gets moved over to the 3 to 6 months of expenses emergency fund. And probably 22, you probably don't have many expenses. So if your job and otherwise your life is drama free, then you would just a 3-month one is fine. I have just a 3-month one, so that's fine. I don't have any problem with either of my jobs. All 3, 4 of them. I don't have any problem with they're not going away. So yeah, so I just did 3 months, but you can do 6 months if you want to, because you may have a security gland. And you may feel better and sleep better at night if you have a 6 month. And so that's totally, you get to decide that and you get to do that. So, but after that, it's, like I said, what you do is just doing the baby steps. It's not different just because it's you. So baby steps would be after you get the full emergency fund. That's step 3. Step 4 is to invest in retirement. The retirement account is, and you do 15% of your gross pay is how much you contribute to a retirement account. So you do that, and that's 4. Now, you do 4, 5, and 6 at the same time, which is investing for retirement, save for kids' college. If you don't have any kids, you skip 5. You don't worry about 5 until you actually have a child. And step 6, pay off home. So if you're renting right now, that one doesn't affect you yet either. So, but if you are if you're thinking about buying a home and you plan to, you could do what's called baby step 3B, which is save for a down payment. Now, if you want to get into a house fast, you Dave is fine with you not investing, holding off on investing for 3 years. But that's as long as he wants you out of the market as far as retirement investing. So you would get 3 years after you complete the fully funded emergency fund and a down payment savings, 3B, That is completely different than the emergency fund. So you would do that at that point. Like I said, you can't, if you're not that in a hurry but think you will buy a house at some point, you can do 3B, start saving little by little for a down payment, and then also invest 15%. And again, save for kids' college. If you don't have kids, not a thing. If you don't have a house now, you can't do baby step 6, which is pay off the house early. So, and that's just what you do. Yeah, you think about what you want to do. But I would probably do both. If you're not in a hurry to get into a house, if you aren't going to be married soon, or if you're not married already, and you're just a bachelor, it's just up to you. It's just up to you what you want to do about how soon you think you'll be in a house. Yeah. So I'm trying to think about like if how much you would put into like you would max out a because really you're say like you're renting, and there's a reason that you would be renting for 10 years or something like that, something like that. So, or if you just decided I can never buy a house, not gonna buy a house. Or if you move around, like military people would do, move around a lot, and a lot of them buy houses in every single place they get stationed. Do not do that at all. So if you're just going to be renting, and you just do 15% in a retirement account, and if you want to build even more wealth than that, then you would put extra money into just a brokerage account, a non-retirement investment account is what you would put that in, because technically if you're not going to buy a house, you don't have kids, then you're on baby step 7 already. You're a renter, but you're on baby step 7 already. So and that's 7. Now if you decide to buy a house, then you're back to 3B to save up the down payment, which would be at minimum, Dave recommends 10% for first-time home buyer. 10%. You will have to pay PMI, private mortgage insurance. That is insurance for the lender, not for you. And that's that. Alrighty. Free screen. I'm gonna check my notifications. I don't need to check that one. All right. Debt free screen. It would be absolutely hilarious if one of the Wall Street bets delinquents did a debt-free screen. The debt being the margin balance on their Robinhood account due to phenomenal loss on options trading. That would be pretty cool. Pretty cool. Well, all right. Debt free, just paid off $44,000 in my wife's student loans in one go. Been wanting to do that for a while now, and now we are finally debt free. Feels amazing. So that means they had savings apparently. And to add, we are 25-year-old new parents and on the house hunt now. Thanks for the well wishes. Awesome. So yeah, either he got some big payment of some type, or some bonus check or something like that was huge, or they had savings and they just weren't paying off the student loans. But that's excellent. Like I said, you can post milestones on here. All right, on the psychology of using a credit card as a business owner. David Ramsey is vehemently against credit cards and debit cards. Very clear. The second I got my first credit card, everything became a lot more stressful. Yep. However, as a tutor, I charge reasonably high prices. However, which none of your howevers are going to change Dave's advice. None of it is. The only thing that changes is if you have some issue that is affecting your income, or something crazy going on in your life, you just pause the baby steps. They don't get pushed to the side. There's nothing that changes Dave's advice. Well, let me say almost nothing, just in case there was something one time that did it. I'm not able to think of one right now. Okay. However, as a tutor, charge very reasonable high prices, and some of my customers are turned off by that, especially because most of the time I get paid in cash. So, currently give free lessons, and I'm very obtuse about the pricing up front to not deter any potential clients. However, I was wondering what you guys think about preferring Venmo instead of cash due to the same factor of not watching the Benjamin go away forever. Plus, it's more hip and trendy. I know it's not 2016 anymore, but still. You don't need to have a credit card to... Oh, I see what he's saying. Not for him. He's not using the credit card. Clients are using the credit card. Yeah, that's not on you. That's not on you. And you can send money through Venmo with a debit card and the Cash App and all of them. You can use a debit card. So that's not on you. So you could prefer that, and that might, because giving out cash hurts, and just doing it on even a debit card is less painful for people. So that could get you some more people. But yeah, that's not on you. That's for them to make that decision. Now, Dave Ramsey doesn't like to receive them, but the system that you use to receive payments doesn't discriminate between debit cards and credit cards. Like if you have a debit card with a MasterCard logo on it, that number is gonna start with a 5, just like all MasterCard credit cards do. So it doesn't distinguish with that. So on Dave's online store, that's the honor system basically. That he doesn't like to use credit cards, and so you shouldn't be using them. All right. Nothing wrong with debit cards or your business. Yeah, I mean that's that's not on you. That's on other people to decide not to do. You don't have to. Somebody asks you can recommend that they don't. You can certainly share your debt-free journey if you're debt-free. But you said it's very clear the second you got your first credit card, everything became a lot more stressful. But you didn't. Yeah, we don't know like what if this person is in debt. I assume not, since he's worried about it. So, alrighty. And newbie, have read the initial post. Question about the situation. Currently have first baby step complete. That is $1,000 in a emergency fund, a beginner emergency fund. I'm tired of feeling against the wall though, and find myself using the emergency fund for things that are not emergency but just overspending. Right? You don't do that. You need to go back and revisit baby step 0, which a lot of people don't talk about because that's not official. That's not on any of the the literature that I know of. But basically, baby step 0 is you decide that you're not doing this crap anymore. You're not going to take out loans for anything except a home mortgage, a residential mortgage, not for rental properties. One that you live in. That would be the only loan that you have. You also don't obviously no credit cards, etc. You never do that. You just don't use that anymore. So basically, and then you cut them up immediately. It's just so you can't use them. You can't close out the account until the balance is paid. But you can cut the card up and remove it from Amazon's memory. So Amazon doesn't have that card on file, so it's not just an easy click to buy something, because that's how they get you. So Yeah, so you forgot about that. And second, and I guess this would be part of baby step 0 as well, to do the first budget if you haven't done one already. If you have done already, you're not sticking to it because you're overspending. So that's not sticking to it. You got to stick to it as well. And all that stuff is baby step 0. Alrighty. Let's see. Have low debt, about 1.5K on a card, 1,500. I have a mortgage that's over 25% of monthly pay. I'm able to rent and cash flow 200 or so a month, and that's with a manager. Oh yeah, this a military. He's in the military and moved later this year, and the home has about 90K equity. Right, he bought a house in somewhere he's going to be moving. That's what I'm saying. Probably because people say, well, you don't want to waste equity on renting. So now you have this problem. Say, not worth it. But he has a manager that he's also paying, but it still cash flows 200 a month. As soon as something big breaks in it, that 200 cash flow a month is gone. So, all right. So basically, it's well, let me finish reading it. So, question is, should I rent and continue with baby steps? Oh, I see what's going. I think he has a mortgage, and he's renting that to somebody, and he's renting a different place to live. Andy cash flows 200. Okay. Should he rent and continue with the baby steps? As I will be training for the next year and a half when I leave. Have almost no bills, assuming home is rented, but will be able to tear through steps 2 3. I have been maxing my Roth and contributing to 401k already. Well, you're not continuing with baby steps in order, because that is baby step 4, and you don't do that till 2 and 3 is over. And since you've been maxing that Roth and contributing to 401k, that's why you're not. You could possibly, if you weren't doing that, already be finished. So you're doing too many things at one time. Steps 1, 2, and 3 are done separately and in order always. Or pull in the spending. That's a novel idea. That's a great idea. He knows the answer. Or she. Holidays, teacup. Which I've made big adjustments lately, and we'll be able to about finish step 3 before leaving. And the extra pay could go to paying my mortgage faster. I could then sell when I get stationed somewhere and get on the 15-year mortgage and pay down faster. Does he have 2 houses? This is not, it's not very clear. Again, edit, also worth mentioning, beginning a hefty promotion in May with a pay raise that would put my mortgage below that 25%, which I won't be living for the training, and which I won't be living in for lots of bad phrasings, and it makes it unclear. I guess won't be living in the mortgage, and you can rent. Why not live? How long are you gonna? When are you leaving? He's in a couple years, right? Oh, move later this year. Well, this year is up in a month, so I assume you mean sometime in 2022. So, Dave would normally tell you, why not live in the house, and then you're not paying rent, and you just kick your renter out, and so then you're not paying both. You don't have the income from it, but then you're not paying both. So that's an option, or the option is to keep renting and still sell it, and you can rent, just rent and sell it, and get rid of it. Dave does not recommend long distance landlording. But yeah, baby steps in order. So, and your situation is different. Other people have had the exact same stuff going on. You're just doing everything. You're trying to do everything. You still have debt, but you're trying to do investing already. You still have debt, but you also have a mortgage and renting a home. So it's just all over the place. The answer, as always, is baby steps in order. And let's see what. Let's see if he. Absolutely not worth the hassle. Yeah, cash flow 200, just 200 a month. Selling and rent. Some Dave said all the time, pretend you have that 90,000 sitting on your kitchen table. Do you take it and buy this house again right now? If not, then sell it. Yeah. Thanks for that perspective. Okay. Also in the military, rent the house out with a PM. It's very, very simple. This isn't remotely what you asked. Just a heads up, Roth TSP and Roth IRA have separate caps, and you can do both at the same time. I would sell it. Yeah. I would have 10 more before I can retire with 10 years more left, I guess. Okay. So, yep, why not sell the house? So, yeah, everybody's thinking sell the house. All right. Owning real estate is great for investing if it's paid. That means for in cash. And if you live near it, exactly. That would be the Dave advice on that. Hello to whoever is watching. Let's see what time it's 8:48. Moronic asked all the questions that either downright silly or too small to warrant their own thread. Remember to be kind and civil. You were once a beginner too. What's common sense to you may not be to the asker. Yep, and definitely a person tends to not be able to look clearly at their own situation, where as if it was happening to somebody else, they would know exactly what to say, and they never think about it that way, and never follow the advice that they would give somebody else. I mean, this could be where you have people, saying stupid stuff, but we'll look into it. Always left my emergency fund in the checking account as a buffer. You don't want to get stuck because the timing of bills is off. Yeah, I mean that, because you're that's fine. I have mine in it as well. And I've never gone into it except in the case of emergency, which I'm trying to think of. Yeah, I don't think I've had one. No, I haven't had one because I've always been working extra, and I've been able to cash flow anything that would have previously cut into the emergency fund. So yeah, I have mine in checking account. I suppose I should be getting the, what is it, $35 a year that I could get on $7,000. I could get $35 maybe dollars a year on it, in a money market account right now, but I haven't done that. I mean, $35 is $35, but I haven't done it. Let's see. Does anybody else feel super weird about seeing their account at or near zero when you're doing zero-based budgeting? Yeah, again, I don't see it. I don't see it internet at zero. And there should be some buffer there. You should be, I mean, it just depends. Well, I guess if you're on baby step 2, I guess it might not be there. It shouldn't be under 1,000 unless you have the 1,000 on a different account. I know your savings account has at least $1,000 when you're doing it right, but your checking account should be at zero or near zero, right? Not necessarily. It depends on if you're using your checking account to store sinking funds if you're saving up for a car, or like if you know there's going to be, like if you're going to need new tires and you start saving for them and you put that in the checking account, it's not necessarily zero. If you're not doing any of that and you're just paying bills out of it, then yeah. And so you could put a buffer in there, like $200, if that would make you feel better. $100, $200. Yeah, this is the next thing. I swear I didn't see this before, but yeah, we keep a buffer in most of our accounts. $500 for daily account, $1,000 for wife's daily account, and $5,000 in the account which our mortgage payment comes out of. All right, that's a lot of accounts. Why do you and your wife have different daily accounts? No. Guess is they're not 100% combined and have different opportunities for random expenditures. Not everyone on the Ramsey plan is also on the Ramsey religion plan. Right, which means they would be married and would have a combined account. I don't know that that's necessarily religion combining accounts. But all right. So let's say, Dave cites somewhere, he says a zero-based budget does not mean at the end of the month you have zero in the checking account. You must have a buffer of some sort. Buffer is not your emergency fund. That amount is up to you. During baby step 2, I made sure to keep a buffer. It varied. Oh, must be Dave right from the website. It varied TBH. I don't know that Dave says to be honest, but it's more a millennial thing. But goal was always to have 1K in my account at all times. That doesn't mean I always had 1K. I did always had 1K. I don't think Dave wrote that. I don't think that was on the website. There were some points where I warned my husband not to buy groceries. That's definitely not Dave. Until our next paycheck came, which meant we were down to only 100 or so in checking. Typical low balance, though, was more like 700. So, yeah. Alrighty. So, yes, buffer. Alright, why does Dave recommend only 15% save for retirement even for people starting late? It just doesn't make sense. It does because paying your house off is better. And what Dave always does, he turns it around. And he says, if you had a paid for house, a paid off house, would you get a mortgage on it and invest that money? And he says 98% of people, he said this just the other day, 98% of the people say, what? No. And that's the same reaction you should have to it when you turn it around this way, to not paying off the house and investing more, because that is the same exact thing, just turned around. So, he says, so apparently 2% people say, yeah, I would do that. And then Dave just says, okay, well, I can't do anything more. Alrighty. Non-baby steps, Dave and company discussion thread. Probably don't need to go in there for anything. Business money. Okay, which is, if it's debt, it's you sign for it. If you're running the company, it really belongs to you. If your wife works for herself as an S corp, that's your money. Anyway, my wife works for herself as an S corp. She maxed out her SEP and pays us. I don't know what pays us mean. The only debt we have is the mortgage. Anything else she can do to shelter the profit she has this year from taxes. I see. If she pays us more, she is taxed on it. I don't know what pays us means. Paying, like if she basically pays herself and you get the benefit of that money, I guess. Because, yeah, I guess. Let's see if he answers. Solo 401k, depending on type of business. Purchase any new equipment. She could take Section 179 depreciation on, possibly state tax credit auction. He's hired an accountant specifically for business. Someone who's familiar with the line of S corps, has a whole different slew of laws and loopholes. And this time of year, you need to think about what is paid, invoiced, and such before the year ends. If you're under 50, I believe our contribution limit to a solo 401k is $58,000. Alrighty. Should I buy some of these 5 index funds or just stick to one? Dave Ramsey doesn't recommend index funds for retirement savings. He recommends the S&P 500 index fund for saving for a purchase. But you do have to have 5 years of it being in the market, even when you're saving for a purchase. Because less than that, the market is not guaranteed to be up. I mean, it still is not ever, but it had, based on the history, every 5-year period, it's been at least even to 5 years ago. Any other type of, any lower amount of years, that's not true. So the market could be down right when you want to buy whatever it is you want to buy. And again, he doesn't recommend index funds for investing for retirement. And I get how people want to not have to bother with it, and not have to search through all the if they're doing it themselves, search through all of the managed mutual funds to try to find a good one. Or they don't want to pay a SmartVestor Pro to do it, or even a non-SmartVestor Pro that's a investing professional. They don't want to pay for that. I understand the index funds make it very easy, but if you're going to listen to Dave says 40% of managed mutual funds beat the index, and so yeah. So no need to look at what those are. Dave also recommends further diversification than just having a mutual fund. He also recommends the 4 categories, 25% in each of the 4 categories, which are small, mid, large cap, and international. So 25% in each, yeah. Right. Visual helper. Does anybody use something like this? Excuse me, for paying off debt or paying off a mortgage or saving? Just moving into baby step 4, 5, and 6, and our goals are to max out our TFSA, Roth, and our RSP 401k, and to have our house paid off. Use like what? Use something, just I guess something like a visual helper to pay for paying off debt, paying off a mortgage, or saving. What do they suggest? Debt thermometer, drawn on bathroom mirror with soap. Cheap and stares at us every single day. That's right. Cool. Drew a pie chart. A marble jar with 1,000 marbles, like $7 at dollar store, and move one from one vase to another every time I paid off $75. Excellent. We're about to do this with our mortgage. 400 marbles. Each marble is $500. Excellent. Any fans of The Office? Remember the episode where The Office is working together to meet a goal to get Andy to tattoo his butt, and Aaron draws legs and a butt on a board and colors from the feet up as they earn enough points to cash in for the butt tattoo. I remember that one. I literally have drawn that on my mirror. My son loves The Office and thinks it's hilarious and loves to color in when we knock off debt. Another debt. Alrighty. Alright, we'll do one more. Baby step 1 person. There's your little flare that you can put. As far as what baby step you're on. Who is Cartoon Queen? I'm curious, how do you budget credit card expenses on your Excel sheet? Credit card is paid in full or even zero sometimes. So there's a credit card category on the budget planning, but since you budget out your monthly expenses on each category, assume you use your credit card to pay rent, utilities, groceries, and... Okay, so just for the answering. You wouldn't use a credit card if you're doing Dave's plan, if you want to follow Dave's advice. But just for grins and spreadsheet knowledge, and just general knowledge, you have your budget. Your budget would have a different line for rent, utilities, groceries, etc. So it doesn't matter if you pay them in cash, or on a debit card that comes out of your checking account, or on a credit card, you're still paying for it. And then you have to move the money around and stuff like that. So do you mark that couple thousand on the credit card expense column? No, because if you do that, then that's gonna mess up, unless you are personally handling the formulas, and you can leave that out, because otherwise that throws everything off, because you have the same dollars. You would have one in the credit card expense column and one in the rent column, so you would have that number in there twice. So that's not how that works. But also, no credit cards, which I'm sure one of these 16 people has told them. Alrighty, so that's it for tonight's Ramsey Coach support with Coach Steve Money. I appreciate it. I do Ramsey Coach support every 2 Mondays. I'm just doing it on a Tuesday, because Washington football team was on the Monday Night Football last night, and they were victorious, and so fun times. And so normally I do it on Monday. So next Monday it alternates between tech support and Ramsey Coach support, and so it'll be tech support from the r/tech support subreddit next week. Other videos / streams that I have coming out on, let's see, tomorrow, every weekday, is the Ramsey Show After Show, and that is at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, right after the Ramsey Show video ends on YouTube. Then the Ramsey Show After Show, my show, starts. And that is every day, Monday through Friday, even when there's a replay. I went live on Thanksgiving Day and Black Friday as well. So I will be there unless something crazy happened. I missed one because the internet was out. I missed another one for, I can't remember, I think a family thing, something I had to do for my son. Also so that'll be Wednesday. That's tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. And at some point tomorrow, the Curse of Oak Island Season 9 Episode 5 recap will be out, because that is on now, or it just ended. I can't remember. I don't have time to watch it until Wednesday mornings usually. And so sometime Wednesday is when the Curse of Oak Island recaps get put out. So Episode 5, that will be tomorrow. Wednesday nights, Wednesdays and Saturdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, is when I do video gaming. I do old man video gaming. I play single player games by myself, of course. And right now I'm doing Lost in Random and Dark, D-A-R-Q. I'm alternating them back and forth. And so on tomorrow night, it will be playing Dark again, D-A-R-Q. If Bella tells me she has time to play, we will do that, and that may preempt any of my other streams, except the Ramsey Show After Show. I'll just do any of the other streams at a different time. I will do father-daughter video gaming with her whenever she's available. Let's see. And I think that's all the streams I'm doing now. Yeah, and of course Mondays again, alternating Ramsey Coach support, which I just did, and tech support, which Coach Steve Money, which is the tech support subreddit. Alrighty, well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, And you guys have a wonderful night. And make smart financial decisions every day. Baby steps in order.